So Gaynor, thank you so much for joining me. I do want to ask you a few questions since I know that you'll be deploying to help a lot of our Red Cross colleagues in other regions who are going to be impacted by these storms. So I wanted to ask you, as a fellow Red Crosser who is deploying, can you just tell me where you're going and what you'll be doing there?
Well, I believe that I'm going to Beaumont, Texas. Arriving in Houston tomorrow about 12:30, and then most likely getting a car, a rental car, and then driving to Beaumont. There's 5 of us leaving from Southern Gulf Coast to Heartland chapter, which is very nice. So we can only put 2 in a car with this new COVID environment. So if I arrive first, I'll just wait for the next person so we can go together. It's so close to the border with Louisiana that maybe if one finishes, they just might scooch us over, which is not really a proper word, but anyway, scooch us over to Louisiana, if it gets really bad over there.
Wow, that's incredible. And I know you mentioned a lot of things have changed, and you have deployed a significant amount of time. So,
yes.
What type of things are you bringing on this deployment? Is there anything else that you have to add to your bag that you probably haven't added before?
Well, the last time I was in a shelter with 100 of my new best friends, I imagine I'll be in another shelter with a new 100. Actually, no, 95, because I have other friends leaving with me. And I didn't ever have an eye mask, so for sure that's going. And earplugs. The sound at night is really quite amazing. I think we should be able to arrange the cots in order of sound, but no, that's never going to happen. But I'm looking forward to it. It's always a challenge wherever you go and always fun. So I think that as long as you're having fun in the Red Cross and doing something to help somebody else, then it's a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely. And, I know you have been a Red Cross volunteer for quite some time. Can you just tell me how long you've been a Red Crosser and maybe how many deployments you've been on?
Well, not that long, actually. I've just done a lot of things. It's only 6 years, but I jumped right in. I was a shelter volunteer for 6 weeks when my disaster manager said, "Would you like to deploy?" And of course I said, what's that? And then he told me, I said, oh yeah, well, it's very addictive. And so I've done more than 10, 15 maybe, I'm not sure, but I've been to the top of the, not to Alaska, but to the top of the states, to Hawaii, Puerto Rico. Wonderful time, meeting wonderful people. And it's nice when you meet the same people, like, oh, I saw you in Nebraska. Oh, I saw you in Iowa. Well, we used to hug, but I guess we can just elbow or something now. But yeah, it makes the Red Cross family of our chapter is a wonderful chapter. It is like a family, but it just makes the whole of the US a Red Cross family because you see so many friends again and again.
Now, was there any deployment in particular that really is near and dear to your heart that, just jumps at you that you really enjoyed?
Well, there's probably 3, actually. I went to Arizona for a fire, and I was newish. I'd probably been in the Red Cross about a year. And so I went there as a shelter worker. And so we got to the shelter. He said, "Oh, no, not you." And I thought, oops, what did I do, right? So we went back to the headquarters, and he said, "No, you're going to be doing the distribution of emergency supplies." Well, I had a gap in that, fortunately. And the week before, I had just received my IRV qualifications. He said, "Yeah, you're going to be driving the IRV." And I said, "Oh, right, well, I can do that." And so we get in, there was another girl with me. I said, would you mind driving the first day? She said, no, I don't mind. So I watched her and then I said, okay, now I want to practice. Oh, I got pretty good at the end of 2 weeks. I tell you, that was kind of a fun thing to do. Oh, yeah. Now I can drive with the rest of them, right? And I think that the next one that I really was really dear to my heart was the Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. And I had a wonderful, wonderful job of going all over the island, giving out generators. Mm-hmm. So I left saying, yes, I know how to do, I can do water pumps, what were they? Anyway, something to do with water. And I said, oh, yes, I can do that. So then I get, no, you're not going to do the water filters. You're going to be doing generators. Do you know how to work a generator? I said, oh, yes, I can do that. So went downstairs, there was this big box and I had a partner, right? And I said, okay, let's get the box out. So we got the box out. We had trouble opening the box actually, but anyway, we got it out. And then I said, okay, how does it work? You're the guy, you know. And he said, well, I don't know. Oh, talk about the walk of shame. I had to go back and say, can somebody help us how it works? Oh, yeah, we've got that taken care of. And then the problem was where you put the oil, it was about the size of a dime. And the funnel they gave us was about the size of an orange. So it's like, that's not going to work. So I couldn't remember the Spanish word for funnel. If you've ever tried to describe a funnel, it's really weird. And anyway, I finally found a cake decorating set and took out all of the innards, and that worked perfectly. So we went all over the island and people were just so happy to see us. Like, oh, hi, thank you for my generator. And wonderful, wonderful trip. I think that's enough stories for you, right?
I think that is a quite heartwarming story. I mean, I'm sure just seeing everyone's face, you know, after everything that they've been through and, you know, seeing that friendly face, you know, you and providing them that resource, that life-saving resource that they really needed in that time was probably
something. Oh, they were so happy to see. Talk about hugs and kisses and waving, and oh yeah, it was just a remarkable time. Yeah.
So can you just tell me, I mean, I'm sure it's just, you know, this is the reason why, but why do you volunteer? You know, why do you give your time to the Red Cross?
I lived in Panama a long time, which is why I speak Spanish. And so I had a lot of foster children there. So my husband passed away. I stayed there about a year and I thought, oh, better go back to the States. So I came up here and got a condo and then thought, okay, now what am I going to do? And so I went to a class given by the then sheltering lead from Southern Gulf. And I said, you're a Red Cross volunteer. And he said, yep. And I said, how do I become a volunteer? And he told me. 6 weeks later, I was deployed.
You never look back.
Never look back. It is the most wonderful thing that has happened to me. Really. I love to give back. I love to get all of the hugs, well, the ex-hugs that we used to do. It's just a wonderful, wonderful family.
Well, we thank you, Gaenor, especially, you know, just on behalf of the entire South Florida Red Cross. We just appreciate you so much and everything that you do for us. So thank you. Thank you for giving your time, your service, your talent, and your expertise in everything that you do.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. I just love doing it. I do it with love.